Hi, my name is Angela Green, and for my evidence-based project, my social problem is youth violence and peer victimization. I found an article in Prevention Science Journal that reported on a study that reviewed the OWAS Bully Prevention Program, OBPP, as an intervention. Study participants were 1,791 students, mostly African American, middle schoolers from urban settings in 3 high crime, high poverty communities. The study design was multiple baseline. The order and timing of intervention activities were randomized across 3 schools. Data was collected using 4 instruments: Problem Behavior Frequency Scale, or PBFS, for teachers. There was a PBFS version for adolescents. School Safety Problem Scale that the kids filled out, and then there was a high risk behavior scale that the teachers filled out. And all the data was collected every 3 months for 5 years. This article, the introduction explained why the authors did the review, or why they did the study. They felt there was a lack of adolescent violence prevention interventions that address factors within the broader environment rather than on individual level. The OBPP is an example of a school-based intervention that provides a comprehensive approach to reducing aggression. So the program includes supervision of students by school staff of hotspots in the school where bullying is known to take place. There's also school-wide rules. They have meetings with the teachers and the students to make up rules against the bullies, rules against bullying. And they also have a curriculum for lessons on leadership, relational aggression, and stress management. They had tables of the data. The first table showed the teacher responses to the PBFS and the 6 categories that were compared before and after the interventions over the course of the 5 years. Both the texts and the tables showed significant positive response to the intervention, and especially in the later years. So the longer the program lasted, the greater the benefit. Table 2 showed the analysis of the student responses to the PBFS. Youth, unlike teachers, report the intervention makes little difference in aggressive behavior, according to the text and the tables. So it's opposite from the teachers. Table 3 shows that the teachers indicate increasing concerns within each school year about safety problems. Safety problems is their term in the school, but students indicate decreasing concerns about safety problems. And I didn't notice anywhere where they defined safety problems. So that was something that I noticed, and I'm not sure how they were defining safety problems. Maybe it wasn't clear. It seems teachers and students don't agree on what that means. I made a note about a cultural sensitivity issue. The writers said that the OBPP, there was a lagged effect in physical aggression category. They explained that away by saying that adolescents in urban settings may feel compelled to respond aggressively to forms of provocation that they feel cross the line. I get that one area, the OBPP was less effective, especially right away. Maybe it was more effective in the 4th or 5th year, but not as much as in other areas. And that's one area they felt there could be more research done, as in, the physical aggression. But that one statement sounds like they're saying that kids who live in urban areas are more violent than kids from suburban areas. That's what it sounds like they're saying to me. And that sounds racist to me. I hope that makes sense. And let's see. So in the discussion area, and I'll just close with this. The writers found the data showed the OWEUS, OLWEUS program is not a successful school-based intervention, even though there was some promising data, to reduce aggression in adolescents. And they did give a caveat to that, quote unquote, it is important to note that our measure had teachers rate It is important to note that our measure had teachers rate the extent to which specific issues were a problem at their school, not their frequency. So they were rating the extent to which specific issues were a problem, not their frequency. Right. So it depends on how you look at the data, I guess is what they're saying, that they had so many measures. The data can be interpreted in different ways, is what I wrote. There are so many measurement tools, so many things were being measured that they could overlap and compete with one another, that I just think the study was just too complicated in its design, and that would be my critique. That one thing I would say was a problem. And they agreed, because later on, toward the end of the article, in the limitations section, it said, differences in the focus of student and teacher measures also complicates the interpretation of our findings. The significant findings on teachers' ratings, but not on student report, may indicate the program effects did not generalize outside of the school settings, although it could also reflect bias in teachers' ratings of increased school safety problems and the lack of significant intervention effects on their ratings and student norms are not consistent with this premise. Our ability to detect intervention effects may have also been affected by limited variability in the frequency of aggression based on the past 30 days, particularly for physical aggression and victimization. So that was the end of my analysis, but as far as treatment, the authors mentioned that they were thinking about using the OWEUS program as a springboard to leadership training in after-school programs, and that's exactly what I wanted to try to do. And that's why I went back to school for social work. So that was exciting to me. But they're doing social emotional learning in schools now, mostly for bullying and bully behavior. And this is the area that I want to specialize in when I finish school. So I'm going to look back at this and do it in my one-page paper and get into more detail, but I'm going to stop the video here. Thank you.